Siri, shut up. "2018 has been a wild ride. It's had ups, it's had downs, but one thing I think most of us can agree on is that it was a pretty damn good year for gaming. What's up, guys? My name's IPlayVidya, and today I'm here to talk about my favorite games that came out the year of 2018. Now, this game of course consists obviously of only games that I played, so not all the big name games that came out this year are going to be on this list. Also, spoiler warning, I'm probably going to spoil most if not all of these games. So just so you're prepared and aware, if there's any of these games you don't want spoiled, I will have timestamps in the description if you want to skip certain games, yada yada yada. Completely up to you. But there are 8 games on this list, so without further ado, let me just jump right into it then. Coming in at number 8 is Don't Nod's Life is Strange 2. Now the reason I ranked this as well as the next game as low as I did on this list is for the simple fact that it's an incomplete game. We only have a 1/5 of the whole story, so therefore I can't really give an accurate judgment on the game as a whole because I haven't seen 80% of it. But from what we have seen of the game, it's exactly what you would want from a Life is Strange game. For those of you who were fans of the first game, who felt like, the prequel that they released last year didn't really live up to the Life is Strange name, this game is what you want. It's what we've wanted for the last 3 years now. A follow-up to Life is Strange. Now, this game doesn't have any of the original characters or take place in any of the original settings as the first game, but the developers did say that they weren't going to do that anyway. So regardless, there are still some fans who are upset about that, and if you were hoping for a continuation of the direct continuation anyway of the previous game, then you're going to be disappointed by this game. But however, that aside, it's what you've come to expect from a Life is Strange game, cringy teens and tweens with cringy dialogue with hints of supernatural elements thrown into the mix. Overall, I think from what we've gotten from just episode 1 alone, it looks like it's shaping up to be, as good if not better than the first game. And I don't say that lightly because I greatly enjoyed the first game. It is one of my all-time favorites. I know a lot of people kind of don't like it due to the fact that there's a point in the game where the game gets kind of preachy politically. Whether you agree or disagree, that's regardless. I'm not here to talk about that. But I understand if that might turn you off from maybe giving it a chance, but I want to say that the game does not spend most of its time preaching this political message. There is a small portion in the game where it's mentioned. It's not even like really preached at you like this is a problem, whatnot. It's mentioned, and I know a lot of people don't like that, but the majority of the game doesn't focus on that. The majority of the game is a Life is Strange game. You're a teen and a tween, one of you with supernatural abilities, going through some fucked up shit. It's what we all expected from a Life is Strange game. And regardless, I'm very interested to see how this story advances and eventually concludes.
Daniel! Oh my god!
Coming in at number 7, the final game to come out of the Telltale Games studio. The aptly titled The Walking Dead: The Final Season. Now once again, the reason this game is ranked so low on this list is the fact that it is incomplete. However, we do have more of this game than we do have Life is Strange 2. We have 50% of this game, half of it, completely done, finished in the books. Unfortunately there was, a lot that happened to Telltale earlier this year and those involved with the game. So unfortunately we won't be getting the final 2 episodes for quite a while, but regardless, I am excited nonetheless. I've been a big fan of this series since it came out in 2012, and when this game was first announced as labeled as the final season, I won't lie, I got a little emotional. I knew eventually this series had to come to a close. There's no way it could go on forever, but I don't think I was ever going to be ready for it, and the way they've gone about it thus far in the game, I can't speak highly enough of it. It's taken a turn I didn't expect, but regardless, I'm happy with where they're going nonetheless. The fact that they've brought in Lily from the first game as the main antagonist, I've been waiting for that for a long time, honestly. You know, when we didn't see her die in the first game, when we didn't specifically see that happen, I knew she was coming back, especially when Kenny came back in Season 2. Like, if they're gonna bring this motherfucker back, you know eventually this bitch is coming back. Hands down, it's happening. But regardless, I'm so excited to see how they finish this. And I just hope that this game is given a proper ending. That, the ending doesn't leave a sour taste in the fans' mouths. Because, this is, the last we'll ever see of this series, probably. As of right now, I haven't heard anything otherwise. And, obviously with Telltale going under, that almost cements the fact that that nothing more is coming out of it. So I hope that not only as the final Telltale game, but as the final game in the Walking Dead series, it's given a proper goodbye.
Now, what do you do if I get bit?
Coming in at number 6, finally, a fully complete, done, finished game. A game where, yes, there's DLC, but the DLC is not required to fully play and enjoy this game. This game is Dragon Ball FighterZ. Now, I've been a huge fan of Dragon Ball since I was a kid. I know a lot of people have. I personally am not really caught up with Super all that much, so that part of this game was kind of lost to me. Regardless, it is still a fun game, a game that makes up where the previous Dragon Ball Z games have kind of, failed. The Xenoverse series, it was kind of a hit or miss thing. Some people enjoyed them, some people didn't. I'm in the camp that didn't. Then before that, what was it, Battle of Z, I think was the previous one, which no one liked, really. And now this game, while yes, it's less story, more online based, due to it being a fighting game, it was still an enjoyable Dragon Ball Z game, a game where you could jump in and have fun with it. Regardless, it wasn't a tedious game to play. The story was fun enough anyway. It is a fighting game. Obviously in fighting games they don't focus that much on story. It's just kind of thrown in there as like, hey, here's this, play this to get used to the controls, then jump online. Like any online game has, there's usually a small little story mode, and then it's like, okay, go play online, kids. And unfortunately, like any fighting game, you kind of lose interest after a while. Even with them announcing new DLC characters for the game and whatnot, you just start to lose interest. It's like, it becomes the same thing over and over again, and it's just slowly lost interest in it. I know I personally did. I haven't played it since like May, honestly. It's been quite some time. But regardless, for the moments I did play it, and occasionally I do go back to it because I am a Dragon Ball fan. I love going in and playing those fucking moments in the series. But regardless, it was still a good game nonetheless. If you're a Dragon Ball fan at all, you're going to enjoy this game. It's exactly what you would want from a Dragon Ball based fighting game.
Let's hurry up and get this started.
This could be fun.
I'll play with you.
Now coming in at number 5 is a game I'm probably not only going to get shit for putting so high on this list, but I'm going to get shit for even enjoying it, because I know a lot of fans of this franchise don't like these games. But this game coming in at number 5 is the aptly titled Persona 5 Dancing in Starlight. Now, I know from what I've seen anyway, a lot of people don't like these games. They feel like Atlus is wasting resources on these games when they could be putting it towards, another Shin Megami Tensei, another Persona, games that fans really, really want. However, I adored Persona 5. I did. It is one of, if not my favorite game of all time. It's up there, definitely. I love this game. So any chance I get to explore even more scenarios and whatnot with these characters, I'm excited to do so. Like, even if it's a silly little dancing game like, Dancing in Starlight is, I have fun with it. I mean, and I love these rhythm games anyway. Like, I've bought the past 2 fucking Hatsune Miku video games. Why? Because they're fun. I enjoy the music. I love music regardless. And fucking the Persona 5 soundtrack is an absolute fucking bop. You can't tell me it isn't. It's fucking fantastic. I mean, and for the same reasons I bought this game, I'm going to be buying, Persona Q2. For the same reason I'm going to be buying the fucking fighter pack for Smash when it comes out, because I want Joker, I want more Persona 5, I want to have as many interactions with these characters as I can, because I know when the next, main game Persona comes out, it's going to be all new characters, all new setting. It's going to be a completely different cast, and I'll have to completely say goodbye to the fucking characters that we have now. And so while we wait for whenever the next Persona game is, 6, 7, however many years down the line, I want to enjoy as many experiences with the characters as I can right now. And if I get to do that while also playing a fun little rhythm game at the same time, I'm 100% okay with that. So for that reason, I've ranked it at number 5 above the last 3. Coming in at number 4 is a game I have been waiting years and years to play. I first saw the tech demo that introduced this game, I think it came out 5 years ago when we were first introduced to who would eventually become one of the protagonists of this story. This game, of course, being Detroit Become Human. Now, I know a lot of people don't like Quantum Dream, or more specifically don't like David Cage, which there are valid reasons to not liking David Cage. I'm not going to deny that. However, I don't think you should write off this studio or its games entirely just because of one guy. The last 3 games the studio has made, I have found to be incredibly enjoyable, yes, including Beyond Two Souls. Was it, anything like Heavy Rain or Detroit? No, it was a different game, very linear. I understand why some people may not like it, but I did. But anyway, this isn't about Beyond, it's about Detroit. And Detroit was a fantastic game. I know a lot of people didn't like, the underlying message about racism and whatnot. I get that. For the same reason people would be turned off from the first episode of Life is Strange 2. I get it. That shit, you just don't want to deal with it while you're playing games. You want to have fun and relax while playing games, but I feel like it really ties into the story, and the story is a fantastic one at that. The characters, I feel, are well written. The voice actors are fucking amazing. You got Clancy Brown, who is a veteran voice actor. He's been in so much shit. You know his voice from somewhere, guaranteed. And then you got this new up-and-comer Brian Deckard, who fucking blew up in popularity thanks to this game, and motherfucker, he fucking deserves it. He's a fantastic fucking person. But the game itself is great. I found it so enjoyable. It went back to what really blew up Quantum Dream with Heavy Rain, which was, the feeling that your choices made a difference. I feel like this game did a very good job of that. Especially, it adds the flowcharts at the end of each chapter, be like, yep, see, you made this choice, and because of this choice, you won't get this, but you will get this, and it will affect this later. I felt that was, awesome. And then there's several endings that require, specific, choices to be made, which is exactly what you want. This game is what most fans wanted, because a lot of people did get turned off by Beyond Two Souls when it came out. People wanted a Heavy Rain-esque game where it felt like your choices meant something, and they really did when you played this game. Now, and the great thing about this story, as well as Heavy Rain, is the story, how it plays out, is unique to you. Your first playthrough is not going to be the same as someone else's first playthrough. You may see scenes that, the second person who plays it won't see until their, next playthrough or their third playthrough. Whatever, you won't. That's the thing, there's so much replayability to this game just to see different moments and how different, events play out. It's worth at least 2 playthroughs, if not more. I personally played through it 3 separate times within the month after it came out. This game is so much fun and well worth the money. I know a lot of people, just write it off immediately because it's Quantum Dream, because it's from David Cage. But I feel like more people should give this a chance. It is a fantastic game that I know a lot of people have enjoyed. It's definitely blown up. It's definitely a popular game. I'm not saying it isn't. But I feel like not enough people are giving it a chance, and too many people are writing it off simply because of the developer and the director of the game. The developers clearly put a lot of time and effort into this game. I feel like more people should just give it a chance. There is a free demo on the PlayStation Store right now, just throwing it out there. If you do, I mean, go ahead and try it. It's a free demo. You won't be giving a penny to Quantic Dream or David Cage. It's entirely free. Give it a chance. Worst case scenario, you don't enjoy it. You waste a little bit of your time. Best case scenario, you find a new game that you'll enjoy. Come on, what's to lose?
This way! North!
So now we're here. The big three of 2018. The bronze, silver, and gold medalists of this year. Now, I spent a lot of time debating what games to put here. Well, more specifically, what order to put these games. I knew which games I wanted in my top three. I knew which games were the top three, which were going to be here. But the fucking indecision came from in what order to put them. Which game did I truly enjoy more than the others? Which game did I truly feel was number one? It took some time, but I finalized this list, and coming in at number 3, the bronze medalist of 2018, is Marvel's Spider-Man. Now, I've been a Spider-Man fan since I was a toddler. I fucking adore Spider-Man. He is without a doubt my favorite superhero across all universes. Marvel, DC, whatever third-party universe you want to throw out there. I love Spider-Man. He's my fucking favorite. And, I had been out of the loop of Spider-Man games for some time, and when I finally tried to get back into Spider-Man games, the most recent one at the time, when I first got back into Spider-Man games, was The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Now, that game was absolute dog shit, and not only was it dog shit, but it, along with its predecessor, according to many reviewers that I've seen, were the worst Spider-Man games that we've gotten. Which is very unfortunate. It left a sour taste in my mouth. I never thought I would feel bad playing a Spider-Man game, but boy howdy did I. And I think this game more than made up for it. The new Spider-Man game that came out this year on PS4 was a fucking blowout, a home run. Insomniac knocked it out of the fucking park. It was so much fun. They took their own little unique twist on certain characters and certain, relationships between characters while still, remaining true to the core of Spider-Man and who these characters were. And I found it, very interesting, something I really wanted to continue playing. I mean, that's another reason why I love this game so much, is I did want to continue playing. I wanted to do all the side mission shit because I wanted to play more Spider-Man. I wanted more Spider-Man. I just wanted to keep playing and playing and playing. And there's also, and yes, there's been DLCs released for this game, but they're not essential to playing this game. They don't, it's not like chunks of the main story are taken out. It's a separate story all on its own, which is wonderful in and of itself. Now, my biggest complaint, however, with this game, and why it's at number 3 and not higher, is because of the godforsaken MJ portions of the game. Now, if you've seen any of my Spider-Man videos, I fucking hate these moments in the game with a burning passion. Not simply because they're challenging. I don't mind a challenging level in a game. It adds to the experience, I get that. What I don't like about these moments is at times they can be so goddamn tedious and uninteresting and just downright annoying that it just takes you out of the moment. You're having fun beating up baddies as Spider-Man, and then all of a sudden you're sneaking through Grand Central Station as Mary Jane, trying to create a distraction. Oh no, you got caught. Time to start all over. Now, I understand, a lot of games like to employ stealth missions and whatnot in their games. But, there were already stealth missions as Spider-Man. Spider-Man already had stealth missions. We didn't need the Mary Jane moments. We didn't need those. They were completely unnecessary. And that's probably my biggest complaint with this game. I legitimately hated those moments. They pissed me off so much. Not because of the challenge, but because of just how uninteresting and how it just pulled me out of my enjoyment of the game. Like, I'd be having so much fun with it, and then my mood is just dropped. Because it's like, no, now you gotta play as MJ. Deal with it. It's not anything you can skip either. Like, fuck, I had more fun playing the goddamn research puzzles with the fucking spectrograph and the fucking circuit boards and whatnot. I had more fun with that than I did as MJ. That's not an exaggeration. I legitimately was like, ooh, whoa, what combination goes here? What combination of these? Ooh, maybe if I put this here, that'll fucking do it. I had more fun doing that shit than any fucking moment as MJ. So, yeah, overall though, it was a fun game. MJ moments aside, every moment as Spider-Man was completely enjoyable. There wasn't an unenjoyable moment at all when you were Spider-Man. When you were Spider-Man, this game was off the hook fucking amazing. I loved every single moment as Spider-Man. So yes, yo, if you're going to play this game, prepare yourself for the MJ moments. They're gonna suck ass, but the Spider-Man moments are gonna more than make up for it. Coming in at number 2, the aptly titled Red Dead Redemption 2. Now, I'm usually a bit wary of prequels. I kind of worry about prequels because some of the prequels I've played, sometimes fuck up the continuity of games, and that I notice that shit really easily, especially if I was a big fan of the game this is taking place beforehand. And I greatly enjoyed the first Red Dead Redemption. It was a fantastic game. But Red Dead Redemption 2 definitely did well with this game, obviously. They swept almost every fucking award at the Game Awards. Almost every award. But it was a fantastic game. It really was. It was everything you wanted for Red Dead Redemption and more. You got the hunting and you got the optional hunting and fishing moments, which were fun. You got the moments to fucking go and do stuff with your allies in the camp. That was fucking enjoyable. Just this extra little bit to throw out there. I actually wanted to go out and do the side mission-y shit similar to Spider-Man. I wanted to go out and enjoy these side mission moments. I wanted, to take in as much stuff from this game as I could. It was a very enjoyable game that I don't feel really had any issues with the continuity between this and the first game. Granted, as of this recording, I have not finished the game yet. As a matter of fact, once I'm done recording this video, I'm going to sit down and record more Red Dead Redemption 2. But regardless, as far as I've gotten in this game, I'm like 50% of the way through the story, and I'm loving every minute of it. Like hell, I'm 50% of the way through the story, and I feel like it's almost over. I don't know how they're going to fucking turn it around, but God knows there's going to be more shit after this. I'm fucking excited. This game has me so excited for what comes next. You finish one mission and you're just left thinking, ooh, what's next? What's next? And that's what you want in any game, any story-based game. You want that feeling that you just want to play more, you want to keep going. Now, my biggest complaint with this game and why I've knocked it down to number 2 is really my big issue with any kind of open world game, and that's the moments of silence going from point A to point B. Like say, you finish a mission, you go back to camp, and then the next mission marker is way the hell over here. So you gotta go from here to way the hell over there. And the moments in between that are so painstakingly monotonous. Very silent, all you ever really hear is the horse's footsteps. If you're lucky, an unexpected stranger will pop up and they'll offer you something to do, but then you have to hit the road again. You have to keep going towards that mission marker, and it just takes so long, and it's silent, and it just kind of pulls you out of the game. Like you're having fun being a rootin' tootin' shootin' cowboy, and it's just like, oh, now here's 3 to 4 minutes of silence while you try to get to your next destination. Yo, where Rockstar did better with, like the Grand Theft Auto series, when you're going from point A to point B, you have like the radio stations and whatnot to kind of take your mind off of how long it's taking you to get from point A to point B. Obviously, Red Dead Redemption didn't have that option. There's no radio in 1899. But, I feel like more could have been done. Maybe. I'm not sure what more could have been done, honestly. Because even when you're doing missions, when you're on a mission and you have to go from point A to point B, with your allies, occasionally there's character dialogue back and forth that, takes up some of the time. But sometimes that doesn't cover the whole trip from, here to there. And you're still left with like, 2 minutes of just silence. Just silence. So that's probably my biggest complaint with this game and why I've knocked it down to number 2. Just because, there's still moments, as enjoyable as it is, there's still moments where you just get pulled out of the game. You're just like, oh, alright, another horse trip. Lovely. But regardless of that aside, the rest of the game, incredibly enjoyable. The characters, even the assholes, were well written. A lot the returning characters that appear again in the first Red Dead Redemption, they stay very true to the characters they were in the first game. They're not like entirely new characters, and if they do have different personality traits, the game, puts an effort to show how these characters change to become the people that appear in the first game. So, the boring parts aside, it's still an enjoyable game. I still recommend it to anyone, even if you haven't played the first game. This game is still greatly enjoyable, and everyone should fucking, if you haven't given it a chance by now, what are you waiting for? Probably Christmas. Understandable.
I would kill for it, I would happily die for it. I wish things were different. But it weren't us who changed.
Coming in at number 1 is a game I didn't even know if I was going to play this year. I honestly didn't. But I am very glad that I did, get the chance to play this game this year, because if I didn't, I would have been missing out on, in my opinion, what was the greatest gaming experience of 2018. This game, of course, is God of War. Now, I'm not just putting it up here because it won Game of the Year at the Game Awards. Do I feel it genuinely deserved that? Absolutely. This game was fantastic. I played through the original trilogy earlier this year just to, get myself into the mindset of a God of War fan. See what other people, going into this with the same knowledge that, true fans of this series would have. And I'm glad I did that. I know a lot of people don't have the time to do that, put in the work on 3 whole games before playing this, but you honestly didn't need to. I did it personally for me, but it did make it more enjoyable. But even if you didn't, this game is enjoyable enough on its own. And honestly, it is a big change from the original games anyway. The combat system is, wildly different. The characters have changed. They're different from who they were. Well, the only one returning character, honestly. But, it's a fucking great game that I feel did an amazing job of continuing a story that many thought was over. God of War 3 had, was in the books. It was done. Yes, there was that post-credit scene where, it's like, oh, he lived. But it's like, for most people, it was done. Kratos' story was over. But I feel like with this reboot of the franchise, they did an amazing job with it. Like with the past 2 games, the side missions, I wanted to do them. I wanted to play more of this game. I even did the post-game content where you go and hunt all the Valkyries. I fucking loved that. Every minute of it. It was fun and enjoyable. Every little plot twist in this game. Majority of them, I didn't even see them coming. But also, I'm an idiot who never really sees plot twists coming anyway. And where this game exceeded where Red Dead 2 didn't, is in those moments of going from point A to point B, because this is an open world game. You can freely explore this area. But where it exceeded where Red Dead 2 didn't was when traveling from point A to point B, it's not pure silence. Kratos and Mimir, when he joins the party, tell stories and interact with Atreus and and with each other, telling these stories, interacting with each other, having conversations, talking about what happened in the previous, quest. They talk about these things, they tell these stories about the, Norse lore and whatnot, and it keeps you interested, it keeps you invested, to the point that when you get to point B after your trip, you don't realize how long of a fucking trip it's been to get from point A to point B. You're so invested in what these characters are saying that, it doesn't matter. And, likewise, where it also exceeded where Spider-Man didn't is in the challenging moments of the game. The challenging moments are fun. In fact, they're probably the most fun because, you get to really put your skills to the test. Unlike in Spider-Man 2, you're not putting your skills to the test when you're playing as MJ. It's just completely different. In the challenging moments of God of War, you're putting your skills to the test. And in the truly tedious moments of, getting every runic chest or trying to get all the apples, get all the horns and whatnot, you don't have to do that. It's, very tedious to do so. And if you just truly don't, have the attention span to go through that, you don't have to. It's completely optional. You can ignore it. You can just go about the game however you want. And that's awesome. It's wonderful. I love it. And all that aside, the actual story of the game was fantastic. The characters, both the one returning character and all the new characters, were fantastically well written. Their dialogue was fucking amazing. The game itself was obviously fucking gorgeous. You cannot play this game and not just at times stop and admire the view that some of these worlds give you. It is a fucking breathtakingly beautiful game. I love this game, I really do. I'm so glad I gave it a chance. I'm so glad I took, the chance to play through the original God of War games. And then to give this one a chance to just jump into it and say, hey, why not? Why not? I'm so glad I did that, because it's more than worth it. It's worth every fucking penny. And I'm so excited to see where Santa Monica goes next. How the story ended, I can't wait for the next game, because undoubtedly there is a next game. And I am so fucking excited to see what we get. I know, after seeing this, I know Santa Monica can give us another fucking knockout. I know they can. And I can't fucking wait.
Can you kill something that big?
So there you have it, folks. My favorite games of 2018. Did you agree with this list? I know a lot of people agreed with my number one choice. It didn't win Game of the Year for nothing, alright? But what did you think of the other games? Were there games I should have given a chance that maybe could have fucking made an impact on this list? Let me know. Maybe I will check them out eventually and retroactively add them to the list. Who knows? But regardless, this year has been pretty damn good when it comes to games, and next year is shaping up to be a pretty damn good year as well, and I can't wait to see what we get. So anyway, thank you for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you guys in the next episode of whatever the fuck it is I make. Bye bye.